Hey folks, welcome back to Banjo-Kazooie. And here in the Sandcastle, all we gotta do is put in Bottles Bonus 1, which takes a long time but isn't hard. You just pound the letters. You've done this before, and you can spell. It's sort of tedious if you don't know where all the letters are, but I did this enough times that I knew basically where everything was, and that's quite an accomplishment. And I'll be speeding up the rest of the password entries. It's just, I want to show, this takes a while, and this is one of the shorter passwords. Bottles, you're a dick. Yeah, you can type no bonus, or you can just type in the next one if you want to go to another one. I switched over to someone else's footage, Rurilu's LP of this, because he, as I pointed out before, I accidentally already collected a couple special items. I raised up Shark Food Island, and I grabbed the ice key, and I got the item from inside Shark Food Island. And it stayed over from previous save files. So I grabbed Rurilu's footage of what happens when you input the codes to do these various things, lower the blockades, and get those items. It's only for the two. I did my own footage for the other two. So thank you, Rurilu, for totally not allowing me to do this. I didn't ask you at all. But seriously, it's a video game. There's not much copyright involved. So, out he goes. And he will go on over to Shark Food Island, which begins the game underwater, but then you enter the code, and it raises up, and you avoid Snacker. Grab the extra life, which is totally pointless. And you have one more of Rareware's patented platforming things, where you have to go do a flutter flap inside, outside, and around the little climbing thing. I can't really describe it well, but you've seen this like 4 times already. I do it everywhere, basically. In Clanker's Cavern, I do it leading to the paintings in Mad Monster Mansion, I do it in Click Clack Wood, and I probably do it one other time that I'm forgetting. Yeah, you climb up this, and eventually, in this needlessly tall tower, you find a pink egg. What is it for? It's a mystery, as indicated by the question mark. So grab it, and yeah, Banjo's like, ooh, I wonder what the hell this thing is. If you're playing the Xbox re-release, he'll have a different dialogue corresponding to nuts and bolts, because you can use it for various things there. And this is Bottles Bonus number 2. It's different, but not any more impressive than the first. It gives you giant feet and hands. All of this is pretty dumb. And now back to Ruri footage. We've got his cheat for the ice key. I believe he's doing if I remember the order that I put this footage in. And speed it up, here we go. This is good music, by the way. I never played the Spyro games, but I watched Flare Avalar's, or however you pronounce it, LP of it, which is almost done after... No, actually, it's not even close to done. There's only one video left, but it's probably never gonna get finished. At least in... I was gonna say in this decade, but there's only a couple days left of that, and actually it's gonna be uploaded in the next decade, so I don't know. Whatever. There's one video left. It's gonna take a while, but it's definitely a good LP. You should check it out. Anyway, that opens up the door to the ice key over in Waz's cave, so let's head on over. So here we are here. Can Hello, Waza. I am back, yet again. So you lift up here, and unlike when I came in my original visit, there was an ice key there. Yeah. I really wish I didn't have to steal the footage for this. I don't really know. It was probably programmed in a way to make it work, so that it only works this way. It wouldn't have worked any other way, but still, that's annoying. And here we get the ice key. And that's all re-release footage that I'm stealing. Thank God. Switching it totally to my footage next. So, back to the Sandcastle. So I'm inserting the Banjo-Land music from Nuts and Bolts for the rest of the codes here. Now this is code number 3. And this gives us a giant Kazooie. Pretty boss. I like it. I mean, all these are purely aesthetic, they don't do anything other than change the look. But it's funny, for like a few minutes, I guess. Anywho, now for the next special cheat. This one opens up Cavern in Gobi's Valley, which you may have seen briefly while I was bugging Gobi and while I was collecting those 5 notes on an alcove in the cliff near the magic carpet. I don't think I brought attention to it, but it was a little minor thing. So you can finish inputting these very long codes, by the way. Incredibly long. Like, my god. This is long even in as fast as I can go mode. Yeah, that opens that up. And we head on over to Gobi's Valley to grab our next special collectible. And believe me, I'm not happy to be coming back here. But, you know, maybe I can give it a little bit of, like, I don't know. I still don't like it very much. Anyway, a neat trick there to gain a little more distance. I never use it, it's never really necessary, but yeah, do a beak buster. Or a rat-a-tat-tat, rather. So you can fly here. I love flying with giant Kazooie. It's hilarious. And head on over to this alcove. Bash down. And we have yet another egg to grab. Saw briefly there, it's a blue one, and now there's a sarcophagus or coffin or whatever surrounding it. So press that button, open it up, and we have our next egg. Whoa! And again, all this dialogue is different if you're playing the Xbox release. So we can head on out back to the Sandcastle. Our next code is, again, bottles bonus. What number we have? 4? Yeah, 4. This one is pretty silly. It's like a pencil banjo. And your model actually levitates off the ground when you're doing that because, you know, graphics and silliness. This isn't the most hilarious. The most hilarious is probably number 5. Anywho, next code opens up. Who knows why? I don't even remember. I don't remember the order that they did this. Actually, yes, they do. This one opens up a little special thing in Man Monster Mansion, down in the wine cellar. I believe I drew attention to it when I was there. It's the one barrel with a block metal thing over it, so you couldn't break it open. Open it up there, and ta-da! There's a cyan egg in there. Now, I do recommend inputting that code and this code at the same time, because they're both in Mad Monster Mansion, and you don't want to make 2 trips like I did. I did cool editing to make it appear as if I didn't, but yeah, do these at the same time. This one, it's a little less obvious where it would appear. Like, it kind of seems arbitrarily placed. While the other places have an entire island, or a wine barrel, or, you know, a tomb, or whatever. This one appears in a very nonchalant place. It's just on top of Lago. Like, not really a glorious place for an egg. Off we go to Man Monster Mansion. Into the wine cellar. Just avoid the ghost, don't even bother. I think I'm out of gold feathers there anyway. Ew, it's all watery. So you grab that cyanide. Banjo-Kazooie are no longer talkative about them. I don't know if it's like random when they say it, or if it's just for the first couple or whatever. Anywho, out there, now into Lago's room. And I was hoping there'd be something like special or cool around here, because it's, you know, special egg, but nope. And I also take this opportunity to vent a little frustration on the toilet. Me and toilets have this thing, you know, like, it's a little complicated. Anywho, we are back to the Sandcastle and putting yet another bottles bonus. Number 5. Yep, it's Pencil Banjo and Huge Hand Feet Banjo, which is the most ridiculous and the most awesome. But again, it's purely aesthetic, doesn't do anything other than change the look. And we are almost done with these extremely long egg codes. They're all eggs except for the ice key, by the way, which makes the ice key seem kind of special. And the ice key is also kind of special just because it's the only one you can see in regular gameplay without the codes, which made people think that it might be a little special. Other than being special in that way, like, might have a different purpose than the eggs. Such was not the case. So once we're done pounding the ground with our needlessly large and small and regular sized things, we have the red egg over in the captain's cabin. So off we go to Rustabucket Bay. And I would just like to say, holy bejesus, going everywhere here, and visiting locations, going back and putting in all the codes again. It takes a lot of time. I could have done all the codes at once and saved me a lot of travel time, but you know, I wanted to have each individual code bottles bonus have a different thing corresponding to it. You know, had to make things all perfect, even though nothing is really perfect here. I screw up all the time, every place, everywhere. Anyway, final bottles bonus is everything large. It's a little disappointing. Final bottles bonus, except for the secret bottles bonus, I mean. Anyway, yeah, that one's kind of a letdown. But, you know, we get another code for another special egg, final special egg. It's gonna be cool, I know, right? This one's for an item in Click-Clock Wood. Fun to note that all the eggs and stuff are in later areas. Even though there were 2 in Mad Monster Mansion, they probably could have slipped one in Clanker's Cavern or Bulkloof Swamp, or I don't know. It's a little weird. What else? Anywho, last one is in Nabnuts in winter. It's very important to note that it's in winter. Actually, I have no idea if it's important to note. But, go to winter and it's sure to be there. So, pound on that for good measure. Grab the yellow egg, and let's take a look at our titled spoils here. Go one over from Click-Clock Wood here, and here are our collection. What do we get for collecting all these? What is the prize? What is the special unlockable thing? The amazing prize is nothing. So here's the story. Originally, the sequel, Banjo-Tooie, was going to give hints as to how to get these items. And what you would do is that after getting the hints, which is basically the passwords, you would switch back to your original Banjo-Kazooie cartridge, enter the code, get the item, and then on this pause screen of sorts, you would take out the cartridge, switch in the Banjo-Tooie cartridge, and the N64 would have this leftover data, like, not yet erased. I don't know if you'd turn off the power or what, but data would remain for like 30 seconds or 5 seconds, or I have no idea. It'd still be there for a certain duration of time, and you would switch the cartridges fast enough that Banjo-Tooie would be able to read that data, see that you collected those items, and it would unlock certain things in Tooie. Now, this didn't really come into fruition because there was a new model of N64 that reduced this cool-off time or whatever from a reasonable amount of time to like 1 second. And so it was unreasonable to expect people to switch the cartridges in that amount of time. So the idea was ultimately scrapped, but since that happened after Kazooie was released, the data and the passwords and the eggs and the ice key are still all in the game. They just don't do anything. They were never intended to do anything in Kazooie, but they were intended to do something in Tooie. And they still sort of do, but not in the original intended way. In the 360 Xbox Live re-release, collecting them actually does do something. It unlocks a bunch of really pointless shit for your nuts and bolts car. And I mean like really I mean like fuzzy dice and a Union Jack flag. It's a huge letdown for one of the biggest gaming conspiracies of all time, basically. People searched for years for what the hell, how do you get this ice key? How do you raise up Shark Food Island? What are they for? What do they unlock? What do they do? And then when Tooie was released, the items were there in another form, and it was like, what was supposed to happen? What can we still? Are the games still compatible? Do they still do something? And it was a huge mystery up until the Rare Witch Project hacked the original game, Banjo-Kazooie, figured out the passwords, how to get the items, and eventually I believe it was figured out that it doesn't do anything. And what was originally supposed to happen was still kind of a mystery up until a few years ago. I'm not sure exactly how long. But eventually Rare came out about what it was originally supposed to do, how it was supposed to work. It was a really ambitious and cool idea that ultimately didn't get anywhere. And it's kind of unfortunate. But it got people really interested in the game and kept them playing for a really, really long time. And however cheap a way it may have been, you know, that's pretty cool, I guess. And that's the story of Stop and Swap. A little anticlimactic after a decade, but, you know, that's all there is to it. For better or for worse. Oh, and as for Wishy-Washy Banjo, I had this brilliant idea of using the transformation to go and do the final area with, because I thought it would be hilarious. But it automatically untransforms you when you get into the area, which sucks. I hate it. Because it was going to be so hilarious facing off in a deathmatch against Grunty with this transformation going, but no, they just couldn't let me have my fun. So instead, you just get to see me messing around the Sandcastle a bit. Oh, and the best thing about these is that every time you turn off the system, you have to do all the puzzles all over again to re-unlock them. Kind of poorly designed. Anywho, Wishy-Washy Banjo, good clean fun. It's a washing machine. Again, it's only a model swap. You can do everything that you could as a Baron Bird. You can do everything that necessitates Kazooie, even though Kazooie doesn't appear. You can flutter around, you can do a talon trot, like that. It's pretty hilarious, and I would have loved to face off against Grunty like this, but alas, no. So, that takes care of all the transformations, so I'll see you guys next time.